We are live. We are live on Rockin with Rahul and the two Amigos. Basil, you want to start it off?
Yep. Hey, I'm Basil. Welcome to another episode of Rockin with Rahul and the two Amigos. Today we have another special guest, Dave Spadaro. He's been working as an Eagles insider for the past 26 years. He's very well known in Philadelphia. We love him. Before we start, we have a very special song for you.
Okay.
Fly,
Eagles,
Eagles fly on the road to victory.
Fly,
Eagles fly.
Score
Touchdown, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Hit
Hit 'em
him low,
hit 'em high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles fly, on the road to victory.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles. Great job, fellas. Great job, fellas. Thank you very much.
We have some questions for you.
Yes, please.
William, you want to start it off?
Sure. What college did you go to for broadcasting?
I went to Temple University, majored in radio, television, and film, and got right into the business right from there.
When did you know you wanted to go into broadcasting?
I would say 10 years old, 15 years old. Always loved sports and always played sports and just loved, just absorbed sports. And so I actually wanted to be the next Merrill Reese. But there is no next Merrill Reese. He's going to do it forever. So I consider this the next best thing.
Who was your, who did you look, who was your role model growing up? Like, who did you want it to be like?
Yeah, well, I mean, Merrill was number one. And then just a bunch of writers. Back then we had these things called newspapers. And so people like Mark Wicker and Ray Didinger and Frank Dolson and some people who wrote back in the day. I really enjoyed reading them. And, I was always a big Philadelphia sports fan. And I have just been very fortunate to be in this position for so many years. And the media has changed a lot, but, that's the bread and butter is that I started doing it as a writer and, still you always have to evolve and you always have to do things like podcasts and things, television and radio. So, but yeah, I've always been totally into Philadelphia sports, and my goal is always to be part of the Philadelphia media.
What's been one of your favorite moments in your 26 years? Was it Super Bowl? What was one of your favorite moments?
Yeah, I mean that's like Super Bowl for sure. The parade, emceeing the parade was the greatest thing ever. I've always liked the games and I always liked the events because it's a lot of people coming together to put on this event and make it all work. And I always just love being part of a team. But clearly, look, in Jeffrey Lurie, so Jeffrey Lurie I started Eagles Digest in 1989. I joined the Eagles in 1997. And so Jeffrey Lurie's owned the team. This is his 30th year of owning the team. In 29 years, 17 playoff appearances, 10 NFC East titles, 7 NFC championship games, 3 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl victory. Now, we'd all like those Super Bowl victories to be more, but that's a pretty good track record. And I'm really proud of that.
Do you wish things could have went differently for the Eagles last season if they could have won the Super Bowl against the Chiefs?
Yeah, it was such a great team all season and such a dominating performance in the playoffs, and then just didn't play a great game in the Super Bowl. A fumble that was returned for a touchdown, missed a chance at the end of the first half to score a touchdown, scored field goals in the second half, defense couldn't get off the field, bad punts, big punt return. So that was really disappointing. The loss to the Patriots in 2004 season, super disappointing. The loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 2002 season, unbelievably disappointing. The first NFC Championship game loss to the St. Louis Rams. Extremely disappointing. So you always remember the ones that got away.
And do you know back in 1981 was the it was the 1981 season when they lost to the Raiders. That was
So
Ron
obviously,
Jaworski was quarterback at the time.
yeah, you guys weren't even born then, and I was, and I remember it as a kid, being 15 years old, watching it.
What was that
Crying.
like?
It was terrible. It was a tough game. Like, Jobs got intercepted.
Yeah,
Rod Martin had that
big.
big. Yeah, Rod Martin had that big game. I mean, the Eagles had a touchdown called back. I think there was a penalty on Harold, maybe, or Charlie Smith. I forget who it was, but it was really disappointing. And that was the year I think the Phillies went to the World Series. The Flyers may have gone to the Stanley Cup, and the Sixers, I think, went to the NBA Finals, or maybe not.
Yeah. It was the 1979,
1980 team. Yeah.
For the Sixers when they went to the finals. And also, let's see. Yeah. 1980. That's when the Phillies won the World Series. Yeah, that year.
Yeah. So it was very, it was a tough time. And then the Eagles went through a period in the 80s where they weren't very good at all. And then Buddy Ryan came to town and breathed some life back into the organization, made the Eagles relevant again. And that's when I joined, covering the Eagles. I've covered every game since the strike of 1987. So it's been a lot of Eagles games.
How long have you been working as an Eagles insider?
Yeah, so since 1997 with the Eagles as part of the organization. So however many years that is.
Okay. When the Eagles won the Super Bowl,
it's 26.
Yeah, I'll ask this one. When the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2018, how was your reaction in celebrating on Broad Street?
So I was in Minneapolis, so I never made it to Broad Street until a few days later for the parade. But it was the most incredible experience ever. All of those years we've been waiting. It was a great game against the Patriots, and beating them and seeing that last pass from Tom Brady hit the turf, incomplete pass. I remember being handed the Lombardi Trophy and kind of not knowing what to do with it. So I was like holding it up, and I dreamed of this moment my entire life. And ended up kissing.
I'm happy you got your wish to hold a Lombardi Trophy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope I get that dream someday. Also, me and Rahul were at the Eagles parade. Basil, were you there at the parade?
No, I was at the parade, but I didn't actually go out to Center City the night that they won it. But I went to the parade.
When they were playing at the Super Bowl in 2018, I was in Xfinity Live, and it was crazy over there.
I bet it was. I mean, that was, and it's the Eagles fans are so great. And the disappointing part is that in 2022, we just couldn't bring it home for all of the Eagles fans. But we're loading up in 2023. We're all ready to go this year.
Oh yeah.
So what do they need now, Eagles?
What do we need? Need to stay healthy. Need a bit of luck, because it always takes a little bit of luck.
Do we need another position?
I mean, William, I think this team is really, really loaded. And right now, I think let's just see how these guys play out. And I think this team they look great in training camp. And let's just keep it going. But I think from a position standpoint, really, really strong, top to bottom.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like about your job?
I love the fans, interacting with the fans. I love the energy of it. I love working around young people who everybody does their part. You know your role, and you want to be a star in your role, and that's what I like. I just like every day about my job.
Do you think Eagles' current roster are capable of getting back to the Super Bowl with the Georgia Bulldog? What do you like about Nolan Smith, how he's doing in training camp, and Jalen Carter?
Yeah, so Rahul, I mean, that's the ultimate goal, but I know there's a long way to go. So you kind of just keep your focus on the short term. But it's a very talented team. Some young players, like you said, Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter have looked really good in practice so far. Pads just went on for one day today. So they're off to a good start. And we'll know mid-season just how good this football team is. It's a long, long way to go. And you always want to be going up. And so I feel like the offense, returning all the starters they've returned, they've looked outstanding. I think the defensive front is really strong. Good cornerbacks, new safeties, so we have to see how they work out,
Yeah.
and then new linebackers also, and give them a chance to develop and grow together and see how they do.
Do you think the new defensive coordinator will be better than our old one, Jonathan
Well,
Gannon?
yeah, I mean, look, Jonathan did a really good job last year. The Eagles were first in the league against the pass. Tough game against the Chiefs. Could not get off the field in the second half. Very disappointing. But I wish him the best of luck as the Arizona Cardinals head coach. And I really like what Sean has done. And we'll see again, like it's so early. And there's 5 new starters on defense. So there's a lot to work through. And I'm excited to see how they build
And a
it.
lot of training to cover right now since they're in training camp.
Yeah, there's a lot to cover and there's a lot to look at. And you really, obviously, you always hope that nobody gets hurt, first of all. And
I love it. Do you go to the training camp events?
yes, I go every day to training camp, and it's been really fun so far. The energy's been awesome, and the practices have been really, really good.
Um, what do you who do you think gonna win the running back spot? Like we have DeAndre Swift, Rashard Penny, Kenneth Gainwell. Who do you think will win the running back spot?
I think they're all going to play a lot and share carries. I don't think there's going to be one player. Like last year, Miles Sanders had a great, great season. But I think the approach this year is different. I think that they will all get a bunch of touches, get a bunch of carries. Very talented group. And I think you'll all see them share responsibility and be really productive. So I don't think anybody's good. I think Kenny Gainwell will likely be the starter, but that doesn't mean much. I think that DeAndre Swift will touch the ball a lot. Rashad Penny will touch the ball a lot. And Boston Scott will be involved a lot. And Trey Sermon, we'll see if he can get involved. So everybody's going to share the wealth.
Hopefully everyone stays healthy this season.
That's right. I mean, Basil, it's all about staying healthy, right? Like that's all around the league. We see all of these injuries, and it really hurts the team's chances of success. So everything is built around staying healthy, staying fresh, and just keep getting better every day.
Yeah. What do you think about the Kelly Green coming back and lots of people were in line to get the Kelly Green?
Yeah, it was really, really fun on Monday at Lincoln Financial Field. I mean, 1,000 people came out, or more than 1,000 people came out on one day. It was the gates, the door to the store didn't open until 9:00 in the morning, and the first people were in line at 3:30 in the morning. It was crazy. Everybody had fun. Everybody was happy to be there, and it was an awesome showing by the fans.
Did you end up getting one?
I got a little bit of, I got to get a jersey. I'm not really a jersey guy, but I got a t-shirt. I have a sweatshirt.
You should. I recommend
I see that. I love that. I love you guys look good in it. It's
I
not really my thing.
I have a Sanders jersey on.
Yeah, it looks good on you.
Yeah,
and,
I also have a Hurst jersey, Smith jersey, and a Joel Brown jersey.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, who's your favorite players, guys?
My favorite player is Jalen Hurts. I like Devonta Smith and AJ Brown.
Okay. Basil, how about you?
I have an AJ Brown jersey too.
Kelsey, Jalen Hurts. I'm excited to see Swift. I love Smith. I love seeing Smith run routes.
I know, isn't he great? Isn't he great? I love watching him catch the football and just like contort himself into this weird position, and he always flows onto the football. He's really just incredible. And there was a lot. So yesterday at this store, it was not mostly, but the leaders were Hurts jerseys and Kelsey jerseys.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Yeah,
because you're not going to get a Kelsey jersey in a couple years.
That's right.
And Hurts will be here for a long time.
That's right. Let's hope so. He's a great young guy. He's having a great camp.
What do you think about Jason Kelsey's speech in 2018?
I mean, it was epic. It was amazing. It was the speech of the all-time greats, and I would love to hear him do it one more time.
There was some
Oh.
rumors like on Instagram and all of Jalen Hurts screenshot picture is him walking in the Super Bowl loss to the Chiefs. What do you think about uh, his production about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that. Are you talking about Jalen or are you talking about Jason Kelsey?
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I
Jalen
mean,
Hurts.
Jalen Hurts had 374 yards of offense, 4 touchdowns, brought him back to tie it, scored a 2-point conversion, showed that he was every bit a match for Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I think that Jalen Hurts is a superstar quarterback, and he's not even 25 years old.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. That's
Pretty incredible, right? So
Yeah.
if you've got a great quarterback, you've got a chance, and the Eagles have a great quarterback.
Um, wh- what's your prediction for the Eagles this season?
Well, I mean, look, Rahul. I'm a homer, so I don't think the Eagles are going to lose any games. I hope it just goes perfectly. And I mean, I think it's going to be. All I will say is that I think they're really well coached. I think they've got a great roster. The fans are totally into it. Everybody's excited. I expect a great season.
Yeah. Do you think we'll go? I know for sure we'll go to the playoffs this year, for sure, hopefully. But do you think we'll go back to the Super Bowl this year?
Well, I mean, for sure. Hopefully, I don't know. I guess. I mean, that's always the goal. I'm optimistic. I think they're a really good team. But again, a lot of good teams out there. Tough schedule. A lot of things can happen.
Yeah, Eagles. Yeah, we have it. Yeah, I heard they have a tough schedule this year. I heard.
Yeah. So we'll see. It starts in September at the New England Patriots, and let's
What
find
day-
out.
What day is the first game for the Eagles? The first official.
September 11th against the Patriots in
And
New
plus,
England.
I think that's the all the tickets are sold out because Tom Brady is retiring his jersey. So I hope Eagles win and we spoil his day that day.
I'm sorry, September 10th is the game. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Yeah, I mean, we all respect Tom Brady, but we're not exactly fans of Tom Brady. So it would be fun on September 10th to start things off the right way. You're okay, you can come in. It's all right to start things off the right way and get a big win against the Patriots.
What do you think about how Nick the coach, how he reacted when they were making mistake and he got angry on the players?
I mean, all coaches do that. I think Nick is really intense and he knows how to manage his players, and so I like coaches who correct mistakes, and that's all he did, and that's kind of the way he's always been.
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking you this, Dave, who is the older player in the NFL?
I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know. Well, it was Tom Brady, wasn't it? I
Yeah,
don't know.
but I think it's Rodgers now. Aaron.
Oh, 39 years old. Yeah, it could be Aaron Rodgers. That's true. That's a good answer.
Yeah, he got traded. You heard he got traded from Packers
to the Jets. And football starts on Thursday. Browns and the Jets. Hall of Fame preseason game. I can't believe it's already here. It's already here.
I'm excited for football to start.
Me too.
Yeah.
Basil, you have any more questions? Basil, do you have any more questions?
No, not off the top of my head.
Thanks, guys.
Before we wrap things up, we would like to thank you for being a guest on Rockin with Rahul and Two Amigos. We thank you very much for covering Eagles Insider for 26 years, and we love watching you and look forward to watching you on TV and seeing you in stadium more often. And hopefully by the end of the season, we celebrate the Eagles winning another Super Bowl.
I would love that. Thank you guys for having me. It was a pleasure to meet you at the draft party, and stay in touch, and let's do it at some point during the season again.
You're welcome. Now,
Thank-
yeah. That's it for now. Stay tuned for another episode of Rockin' with Rahul and the Two Amigos. Please subscribe on YouTube, and you can listen to our recording on Spotify. And go Eagles!
Go Eagles! Go Birds!
Go
Thanks,
Eagles!
Guys. EAGLES Eagles. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
It's nice to finally meet you.
All right.